Starting off with an orgy.
No, yeah, I like that. I like that. What is happening right now?
Oh my God.
What's up,
Someone's
guys?
a little too excited.
What's up, guys? Welcome to episode 55 of Psychotic and Iconic. Paul's here along with my co-hosts Nick Theories, Mikey P, and Philly Phil. We want to thank everybody that's tuned in to our live stream right now. If you haven't done so already, please go ahead and share it so we can get more people in here tonight, get more fans engaged. Anybody that hasn't liked, followed, or subscribed to all of our platforms, please go ahead and do so. We need to get those subscribers up. We've been really stagnant, and it's your fault, not ours. So with that, Mikey P, let's do it.
Appreciate it, Mike. We're going to get right into it tonight, all right? So tonight's episode of Psychotic and Iconic Sports Podcast is brought to you by Prize Picks, your home for daily fantasy sports. New users who sign up for Prize Picks today using the promo code ICONIC will receive a 100% instant deposit match up to $100. ICONIC is the promo code. Prize Picks, daily fantasy made easy. Also, please check us out where we are live right now on the Props Network at propshq.com. You'll see our live stream schedule and show news there, okay? Check us out on propshq.com. Tonight, quarterbacks. Who doesn't love talking about quarterbacks? We got some all-timers we're going to be talking about tonight. So, get ready for this shit, all right? Phil, let's go, baby. NFL QB special, P&I. All right, we're starting off with the GOAT tonight. You know who it is.
Matt
Look at
Stafford?
Nick's jersey right now. Look at Nick's jersey.
The fucking GOAT.
That's the GOAT right
The
there.
fucking GOAT. I've been saying it for 55 episodes. Don't get it twisted. He's the best ever.
Did he win his last game?
Shut up. Shut up. Shut up. See, he's so disrespectful.
We gotta
towards the
show
GOAT.
we gotta show respect to
Yeah,
the
we
GOAT
gotta show
tonight.
respect.
I'm not allowed to ask questions, I guess. Okay.
You know what, man? Go ahead. Just carry the fuck on, man. You know, we got time today.
Well, that's right. We got plenty of time. We gotta make time for the GOAT. TB12.
That's the
Tom
thumbnail.
Brady
Condolences.
officially
Yeah, good shit,
retired from the NFL. Holy fucking shit. There were signs of it, but it was still hard to believe. We didn't think it was coming. We all said, you know, this man's got fire in the belly, everything. All right? And he's done. So, without further ado, I need your reactions because this is depressing. You know, this is crazy ass shit.
Yeah, I'll start it off because I know you're gonna go a lot more in depth than I will. I was
Might
shocked.
shed a tear or two.
Yeah, I was shocked and I was really sad about it because I hated him for so long because like I was a Peyton Manning guy my whole life, and then right after he came back against the Falcons, actually no, it wasn't the Falcons, it was the Super Bowl against the Seahawks when he came back in the fourth quarter and threw for like 150. When I really started like respecting him, and then the Falcons like put it over the top, and I just like I wish that I appreciated him his whole career because like it just really sucked because we'll never see that again. And I tweeted this earlier from First Things First, and they were talking about like who was the GOAT of GOATs, and like it's Tom Brady, and it's really by a sizable margin. It's not even close. I mean, he made sports debates really corny for the best quarterback ever because it really is just you can argue now who's second, Peyton or Montana. You can't really argue anymore like who's the best person like you could do with LeBron and Jordan. So, and it's like I don't think we'll ever see that again. And the only chance that we kind of had at maybe replicating that was Mahomes after he won his first one. But it's been 3 years now. Like these are opportunities that you have to pounce on before you get the Burrows and Allen comes onto the scene and Herbert gets here. So, I mean, congratulations to him on the best career I've ever seen. I'm happy as hell. I got to watch that my whole childhood, and I'm really going to miss that. It's going to be really weird in September, unless he comes back in another year. But yeah, I'm really going to miss him, man. He is the best athlete of my life. It's not even close.
Facts.
Yes.
That was beautiful, Mike and Nick. You know, you got some people who are looking out for your well-being over here on the comments.
I'm good. I'm
Bonnie
good.
says, my condolences.
Yeah, I know.
Tom is agreeing with Paul's. Yo Mama says the GOAT will be missed. End of
Yeah.
an era from David Pasillo. Everybody's
Yeah.
worried about your well-being, I'm sure, Nick. So why don't you tell us how you're feeling right now?
I'm feeling okay. I'm all right.
Say what you need to say.
Because my thing is, I cherish those moments. I didn't shit on them like everybody else did. Every time all those cheating scandals came, I stuck by them. All that Deflategate bullshit. Come on, we all know it's bullshit. Like, just look at the guy's career. Like, you think he needed that? You know what I mean? So, like, for me, it was just like, I stuck by him, through the highs, the lows. It was just a miraculous career that we will never, ever see again. And I'm just happy that I got to soak it all in. I'm going to miss the Super Bowls. I'm going to miss the feeling of, before the big game, like those jitters that you get. I'm going to miss it, but overall, I mean, like, look, I embraced his career. He was the best athlete ever. He was just a perfect role model. To be a 6th-round draft pick, to winning 7 Super Bowls and playing at a high level at 22 seasons, leading the league in passing, touchdowns, all that, before he walked away. I mean, that's the way to go out. I mean, he didn't go out, limping or literally falling off a cliff like they've been putting, like they've been saying for the last 6 years that he was going to do. Didn't happen. And if you kind of like, if you guys ever seen Rocky 4, which I know a majority of you guys have, like, you know how like when Rocky won, he beat Drago, and then the crowd, was kind of like rooting for him in the end. Yeah, that's kind of how it was. Like, if you think about it, everybody hated Brady. Everybody hated Brady. They hated seeing him in the Super Bowl. They hated the Patriots. They hated everything about him because of the team he was on. He was always in the Super Bowl. It got boring. People were just, they just kind of tuned out. So, but then when he left and went to Tampa, that's when I felt like people kind of shifted. They were kind of rooting for him. Like last year's Super Bowl, like I couldn't believe like the amount of people that were actually rooting for Tom Brady. People that I know that hated him for years, they rooted for him. And it was just like, and then this past year, you could kind of see like they're still rooting for him. You know what I mean? Because you're actually appreciating greatness. Like, the guy left New England after 20 years, went to Tampa Bay, who had the worst winning percentage of all franchises in sports history, or something like that. Yeah, he went there with no off season during the COVID phase, stuff. You know what I mean? All the protocols and stuff. And to learn a whole new playbook, learn new teammates, like learn different cadences in the offense, and to win a Super Bowl in their home stadium is just, it's insane. So like, we're never going to see that type of performance ever again for a long period of time. So, and I'm talking about for 22 years. That's called like longevity at its finest. And who knows? I mean, you're always going to have the what if game. Like what if he played 2 more years or 1 more year? Like, who knows? So, yeah, I mean, overall, Nick, congrats to the GOAT. You're the best ever. I love you. I'm your biggest fucking fan. I hope you see this one day. But, yeah, man, what a career. Congrats. Congrats to the GOAT.
Nick, that was fucking beautiful. That was beautiful. Beautiful. If he ever hears this, he will be joining us right here, I'm sure. That was beautiful. There's no way I could top that, but here's what I will do for you, Nick. Out of respect for the GOAT, I'm seeing some disrespectful comments for the GOAT that I'm going to answer for you right now, okay? Oh, Susan man. Perry, Brady's a bitch, bye. Godfather, the Pats did cheat the Eagles, though. Listen, guys, I used to spew that Tom Brady hate. I used to sip on that juice, okay? Pauls, I'm sure you did it too as a Peyton guy. I was a Peyton guy. Listen, I'm not going to tolerate that here today either. This man is the undisputed GOAT, and I can't even believe I just announced that. I'm doing it for the entertainment, though. But your comments, your negative comments for the GOAT, you're going to be missing him one day. I'm telling you right now, because I'm one of those people that I couldn't have appreciated him more, especially at the end, and I was really, really enjoying it. I enjoyed the greatness. I always respected the man, but now I actually, I got to see more of Tom Brady, the person on the Bucs, like many other people did. So, this is an end of an era. It's sad. And, man, I mean, the way we lead into this now is the Bucs. The Bucs are Super Bowl ready team. So, guys, the next question, the follow-up question here is, what will the Bucks do at quarterback? And then I'm going to ask you after that, what should they do? But first, what will they do? What do you think they will do? And if you have trades or anything, give me the actual trade package that it will take to get said quarterback. Or they have an internal option of Kyle Trask. They have free agency options. Tell me what you're thinking. What will the Bucks do at quarterback?
I think what will they do? They're going to get a veteran quarterback. Who? I don't know. I mean, Derek Carr available? Because if you could put him on the Bucks, they can make a run, especially with Aaron Rodgers out of Green Bay, if he is leaving. So there is a window of opportunity there. I mean, hell, even Aaron Rodgers. Why not? But is he going to want to live in the GOAT's shadows? You know what I mean? Like, he has to win it. He would have to win it. If he goes there, he would have to win it. He would have to win it. So I don't know. Like, does he want to live under that pressure? Who knows? But I mean, Jimmy G is an option, maybe. I mean, I don't think they believe in Kyle Trask like they do. Like, anytime that a GM says they're going to see what's behind door number 2, that means they're going with door number 2. Like, they're going to acquire a veteran quarterback. So that's how I see it.
So Nick, if you had a prediction right now of who that veteran quarterback would be, who is your top prediction right now? And this is subject to change, but who would you predict right now?
Gut feel tells me Derek Carr. Because I think McDaniels could actually get rid of Derek Carr and just rebuild his own team. So I don't know.
It's
I think
true.
Gut feel. I feels like Derek Carr, but I feel like he would be a good fit there. Because like he's like the risk it no biscuit kind of like offense. It's perfect for him, and he throws a great deep ball. He's gonna have Mike Evans there, possibly Godwin back.
They have a lot of shit to address in the offseason.
Yeah, they do. I mean, who knows if Gronk's coming back, but you still have Cameron Brate and you still got OJ Howard. I think actually Brate might be a free agent. I do not recall, but still, I mean, you still have weapons on that offense. So, I mean, even Fournette's a free agent too as well. So,
yeah.
I mean, yeah, they do have major holes to fill. Pause. But I don't know. Gut feel. It feels like they're gonna get a high profile quarterback because that. I feel like Tampa's been in like a free agent destination now. I feel like Brady changed that whole culture. So yeah, Derek Carr.
I'm actually opposite. I think
That's
they're
a
going
good
to
selection. Pause. Go ahead.
I think they're going to
I'm
roll
sorry.
with Kyle Trask.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, I really do. Because I feel like they drafted him in the second round. Leftwich pulled out of the Jags head coach. Arians is still there. Yeah. Wow.
Pause.
Arians is still there. He learned behind Tom Brady. And, I mean, I can't think of better tutelage for a young quarterback. And I think that, as I was just saying, I think they have too much to address in the offseason. Leonard Fournette, Godwin. I mean, the only person they really have is Evans. Because I think Gronk, honestly, I think
Ryan Jensen?
Yeah. And I feel like for Gronk, I think if Gronk were to return, I think he's going to go to a place like Buffalo.
Gronk?
Mm-hmm.
Well,
I really do.
Even with Dawson Knox there?
Yeah, because I just feel like he would go to a contender that's an elite contender that's ready to make
Buffalo.
the run. Exactly.
Interesting.
So to me, I don't see them with whether it's Derek. I mean, like if you trade for Carson Wentz, who could probably be available, you know what you're getting. If you trade for Kirk Cousins, you know what you're getting. Not that Kirk Cousins is bad, but the issue is he's not winning with Dalvin Cook and Justin Jefferson. What makes you think he's going to win with?
Thielen.
Yeah. What makes you think he's going to win with potentially Ronald Jones and just Mike Evans? Brady couldn't do it. I mean, he did have Leonard Fournette, but that's assuming that Leonard Fournette doesn't come back.
Yeah, I agree.
So to me, it's just, I mean, maybe Teddy Bridgewater, but again, you know what you're getting.
Jameis Winston return?
I mean,
Christ.
Yeah, no,
Christ.
I think those days sailed.
Yeah.
So I think they're going to roll with Kyle Trask, to be honest. I really do.
Wow. I mean, hey, they drafted him in the second round, Mike. So actually, I'm going to ask the audience right now, who do you think will be the Bucs QB this year? And give us some answers before I move us along, okay? But now, okay, this shit's going to blow your mind. I can't wait to say this right now, okay? My prediction as of this minute, and it's probably going to change, all right? But right this minute, there's not a lot of breadcrumbs to go by. We're going to get some more, okay? I think, obviously, that they want to acquire a veteran. And I think that they do want to move on to Kyle Trask soon, but not this year. I think the window is too open right now. So my thought is, now hold on, ready for this? This is somebody they wanted to bring in last year, and he was going to be a backup quarterback for them. This is actually, this was true. They pursued him as a backup QB. Nick Foles!
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Nick Foles!
Yeah, nah, I think you wild,
Nick
bro.
Foles
I wasn't
right
expecting
now
that.
is the only breadcrumb that there is tied to this team. That's who they will get, in my opinion, right now, if you ask me today. And the reason is,
Wow.
it allows them to re-sign pretty much anybody they want from their team because of his cap number being so low. I think he's going to be at $10 million for the year. He fits the Bruce Arians scheme. He's the veteran bridge quarterback that's going to cost them, I believe it will cost them a 5th-round pick, okay? Maybe a conditional 5th, but I believe that they will get Nick Foles from the Bears, and he's on a 1-year deal. So this is something like if he does well, you could re-sign him for probably cheap. Have him until Kyle Trask is ready, because I do think they believe in Kyle Trask enough that they would take him with a 2nd-rounder. He was groomed behind Brady. So I think Nick Foles would be a good bridge in this system because everything around him, like we talked about before, everything around him works in this scheme. This is a scheme built for a pocket passer, a quarterback who's going to get good blocking, everything. All right? And then they can bring back Godwin, who is their top priority. This is what they've been saying. Godwin's the top priority. So that's who I think they will get. That's fucking crazy, right?
Yeah, I wasn't expecting that one.
I was not either.
That's got my wheels turning a little bit.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what, that was the toughest one of all the quarterbacks we're talking about tonight. This was the toughest situation for me to predict. However, who should they get? If you ask me who they should get, without question, it's got to be Aaron Rodgers. It's got to be Aaron Rodgers, and I think in order for them to get Aaron Rodgers, they'd have to give up 2 first-rounders and maybe a conditional 4th from a future year because the bidding is going to be pretty high. And then in this case, if you get Rodgers, you capitalize on your Super Bowl window for another couple years. You're able to restructure him and give him more bonus money. Maybe make a run at Devontae instead of Godwin. But this is all, there's a lot that would have to happen there. I think it's unlikely, but I think that's the best player they could go after, and they could easily win another ring.
Yeah, but if you do that, then are you bringing back Jensen? Are you bringing back Fournette? Like, you're not going to be able to fit all of them in the salary cap. There's just no way, because Aaron Rodgers is going to get at least 25 mil. And then Devontae Adams is going to get 20. Well, he's
going to get tagged.
Reportedly,
he's not going
30.
anywhere. Yeah, he's going to get tagged.
He's going to get tagged, right?
Yeah.
They would essentially, Devontae is the greatest long shot in this particular situation. So I was just throwing that out there. However, it looks like if you ask me right now in this offseason, if Tom Brady did come back under his salary that he was getting, they would be probably losing one player from their Super Bowl roster, one big name guy. And we don't know who it's going to be yet, but they are able to fit everybody else. And yes, it will probably take some sacrifices and some restructuring of a lot of contracts. So it is possible, though. I did look into this. It's possible for them to pretty much bring back the whole band. And Gronk is going to free up money if he retires, which is looking likely. So that's some crazy-ass shit.
Yeah, I love it, Mike. Love it.
But Nick Foles is my prediction as of today. All right? So that's it, guys. Let's move on. I mean, we have a lot to get to tonight, and we're going to talk about this, I'm sure, for a long time. So without further ado, Ben Roethlisberger. Okay? Thank you, Phil.
A little loud.
No, that's good. I appreciate that. So Big Ben, we already know he retired. The hard part now, 2 things. A, where does he rank all time?
Real shit.
B, what are the Steelers going to do? So first question, guys. Big Ben, obviously going to the Hall of Fame. Where does he rank all time for you?
For me, I have Big Ben in the 10 to 15 range. He has 2 rings, top 10 all time in touchdowns, top 5 in yards, most 500 yard passing games with 4. I feel like Big Ben a little bit is being forgotten about his greatness because of his last 2 seasons being so garbage.
Right.
I mean, you can make compelling arguments that he is number 10. If I had enough time to do like heavy research and that was the main topic tonight, you can do that. But he's in that 10 to 15 range because he was a winner, period, through and through every single year. He was a warrior. He was tough. And like I said, he got 2 rings. All his accolades speak for themselves. So just don't get caught up in the last 2 seasons of him falling off the cliff. And again, that also goes with the issue with Tom Brady. Like when Peyton Manning's last year in Denver, that wasn't Peyton Manning. That was a shell of him. Not everyone can sustain what Tom Brady did. Like everyone has a drop off. I mean, Tom Brady retired like still kind of on the back end of his peak, which is just wild to say because he was an old ass man. But so that's where I have him.
Shit.
Yeah, I have him in the 10 to 15 range with ease.
Yeah, a couple of good comments here. David Pasillo, I think Big Ben gets lost with Brady retiring too, which is the first thing that I was thinking as soon as Brady retired.
I agree with that
it was
comment,
like,
actually. That's
sorry,
a really
Ben.
good comment.
You know, you had your moment for a day.
Yeah, that's a really good comment by Dave.
Nick, where do you have him ranked?
I'm in the same with Paul's. Yeah, I mean, like pretty much everything he said. 2 Super Bowl rings. He was forgotten about. I mean, like if you think about the Steelers teams back in the day, like you had like Hines Ward, Antoine Randall L. Like they
Antonio
were like
Holmes.
Yeah, like they were like legit offenses, and the Steelers were always a threat in the AFC to come out and represent them in the Super Bowl. So like, and the reason why is because of their quarterback. So if you have somebody like that, that's to me, and he's done it for a long period of time, and like you said, the last 2 years, he kind of looked like he was over the hill. But for me, it's just like if you look at his whole body of work throughout his whole career, like the Steelers were always like a top 3 team in the AFC. You always had the Colts, the Patriots, and the Steelers.
Always.
I mean, they were always the rivals. I mean, you can make a case that Ben had like the Pittsburgh defense or whatever, but who cares? I mean, they put up a lot of points with that offense, and Antonio Brown. I mean, the one thing I will say is, I don't know how he didn't win with Antonio Brown and Le'Veon Bell.
I know why.
And
Tom Brady.
And who else? They had somebody else too.
Le'Veon Bell, Antonio Brown, Big Ben, and
yeah, it was the triple Bs.
Yeah, triple Bs.
Yeah. So I mean, like they were like their offense was lethal, like lethal. And that's the one thing about Ben's career that like was confusing for me. Like I just don't know how he doesn't have 1 ring with those kind of guys, But overall, I mean, Big Ben, Hall of Fame player. Congrats on his retirement, and yeah, it was a pleasure watching him too as well. Legend.
Yeah, I think you definitely could argue him being 10. I don't think I could put him any higher than that because I think his stats are going to check out just fine, especially among the old time quarterbacks at the different generations. So he compiled more stats than a lot of these guys. I think he definitely should have had another ring, so that's a little bit disappointing. But I would say I put him number 12 for me. I would say 12, 13 is a comfortable range, and I would put him behind like Drew Brees, John Elway, Brett Favre, Johnny Unitas, Steve Young. Like, he's right behind those guys, and I think that's a fair range for him. Roger Staubach, I'd put him behind him too. But he's close. Like, I mean, that's saying something to be up in that conversation with names like that. And I don't think he was probably appreciated enough as a player in this league. Everyone knows he's going to be a Hall of Famer, but I don't think everyone realized how great he was. And really, I mean, from the get-go, this is a guy who was successful. So congrats to him. And now the hard part is deciding what the Steelers are going to do. So 2-part question. What will the Steelers do at quarterback, and what should they do at quarterback? Who wants to start off this time? You want to go, Pauls?
Yeah, I'll go. I think the Steelers should trade for Jimmy G. The guy is one of 8 players with a 70% win percentage in the Super Bowl era with a minimum of 47 starts, with the likes of Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Joe Montana, Darryl LaMonica, and Roger Staubach. He's in pretty good company, I would say. So I would take Jimmy G. I would draft Tyler Lindenbaum or Trevor Penning from Northern Iowa, and I would start getting that offensive line intact. And I believe that Jimmy G could win there with Deontay Johnson, Najee Harris, and Chase Claypool.
So, Mike, who do you think they will get, though? If you had to decide right now.
I think they're going to get Jimmy G. And I would say...
Oh, so you think both they will and they should?
Yes. And because I don't think Mike Tomlin would go to a rookie right now with that team. And I think a second-round pick and Mason Rudolph to the 49ers would get that job done. They would get a high enough pick for Jimmy G after a good season, and Mason Rudolph will be a good backup for Trey Lance.
Nice, good ideas. Nick, your thoughts?
Yeah,
what about you?
I had Jimmy G as well in Pittsburgh. We were talking about it in the group chat, and I said I think Jimmy G in Pittsburgh would do pretty well. I mean, like, they're loaded on offense. Like, I feel like if Pittsburgh can replicate their defense, like get better players in the back end of their defense and bolster up their defense kind of like towards like the Niners, they could be like the Niners, you know, in the AFC. Mm-hmm. So like I think Jimmy G would be really good there. Other than that, I mean, it's hard to tell right now because, you know, I think Aaron Rodgers would be the best fit. Like,
obviously, yeah.
Like, he would light that shit up over there. With Deontay, Claypool, Najee Harris. Like, he would actually have, like, a passing back, you know, a pass-catching back and a fucking runner. All in one, you know? So he's not going to have these, you know, 2 running backs coming back and forth. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like that can kind of fuck him up a bit, you know? Like, I feel like it's too, like, you're interchanging too much. Like, I feel like if you have guys out there consistently, if you have like a workhorse out there and he's your guy, like I feel like it's more comfortable. You can get more camaraderie with him. So I think he would be the best fit for Pittsburgh. I think he has a chance to go to Pittsburgh. It's out of the NFC because I don't think Aaron Rodgers is going to the Bucs. I don't.
No.
He should go there, but I don't think he's going to because they're not going to trade him within the conference. So I think Green Bay could actually trade Pittsburgh for Aaron Rodgers, and I think it would take about two first, 2 ones, and maybe a 5th, 2 ones and a 5th. I would do it because I think Pittsburgh's championship window opportunity is still there. I do.
I wonder if Aaron would get beat up behind that offensive line, though.
Possibly.
Because if they lose 2 first-round picks, and what if they want a second? So if you have to give them this year's first and second, and you have to roll with that offensive line, Aaron Rodgers has had bad offensive lines.
I would sign Ryan Jensen.
All right.
They need bookend tackles desperately. Here's my thoughts, though, guys, because I'm trying to read the tea leaves here a little bit. And here, like, what I think they should do is obviously go out and get somebody fucking legit, because I think that could elevate them right away. And I think that you can hopefully still draft some linemen, because that is crucial. And that's why I think Jimmy G would not be a good fit there. But just going by Steeler logic, how they've done, you know, making moves and everything over the course of history, especially the last decade or two, they do not like giving up draft picks. This is the foundation of their success. They love drafting players. And I actually think the more I've seen their comments, I think the more that they're willing to have Mason Rudolph or Dwayne Haskins as a bridge QB. And I think that is what they're going to do. And I actually think Kenny Pickett was in their backyard. They got to scout him a little extra, I'm sure. He wants to play for the Steelers. I actually think I could see them drafting Kenny Pickett. I don't know if I love that, but he does have mobility, and the Rooneys have already said that they know that this is where the league is trending, is having a QB who can also run. So I think that they actually would want Kenny Pickett if he's available there. So that's my prediction right now. I think Mason Rudolph sticks around, and he starts a few games, and then Kenny Pickett takes over for him. If I had to predict right now, and I was torn over this one because the second thought of mine was, well, Jameis Winston would be a great fit here as far as, skill set, body type, offense type. He's basically very similar to Big Ben. He cut down on the turnovers last year. Perhaps it's a place where he could succeed. And he's a guy who might be able to hold up behind that weak offensive line. Now, I don't think that's going to happen. That was what I would lean towards, though, if they go outside of the internal options. Okay? Who do I think they should get? Derek Carr. Hands down, I think is the best fit for the Steelers. And if I had to predict what the trade would look like, I think they'd have to give up a 2022 first rounder and a conditional 2023 fourth rounder for Carr, and then they have to re-sign him to a new deal. I think, obviously since he had a successful year, he's not going to come as cheap. You might have been able to pluck him for a 2 last year, but I think the market's pretty set after the Stafford deal. He's going to be less than Stafford because he is on an expiring contract. So I think Derek Carr would be a great fit, and he has a little bit of mobility, and he's got the leadership that they look for. He's a gritty kind of player. He would be a really good fit, and he would get the Steelers on the map right now. And then they could still spend the rest of their draft drafting linemen, because that's what they fucking need desperately. They need bookend tackles. So that's what I would say.
It is.
Derek Carr would be good there.
Yeah, he would be.
I think they'd be really good with Derek Carr.
He's got a big money contract though. The last 2 years of his thing, I think it's like 42 million or something like that.
That's the thing, Mike. Is they would obviously do this with the intent of re-signing him long term.
Gotcha. Okay.
And then you don't gotta worry about drafting anybody. Then you can save. I mean, the way I structured it is they're only giving up their first from this year, but they still have all their other picks. They still have all their other picks next year, so they could justify going out and grabbing somebody. They're gonna let some players walk, I'm sure. Like they actually have a cap situation where they can maneuver it just fine, I think. So, re-signing him will lower his actual cap hit, especially for this year. So that would be the goal, is similar to the Stafford stuff, but costing you a couple of picks less, basically. And he'll be there for, 4 or 5 years if this happens. So that's my thoughts, guys. I think we got to move on, though. I think we're staying on schedule here. We're doing pretty well with that tonight.
It's about time.
So next up, tight ship to run tonight because we got some good stuff to talk about. We got the Green Bay Packers. We were just talking about Aaron Rodgers, okay? So thank you very much, Phil. That's my bad. I didn't pause for you.
Nope, not at all. Big
Yeah, I fucked that one up. But guys, Aaron Rodgers, your likely MVP, who fell out of the playoffs early again.
Regular.
Choked. All right? Aaron Rodgers. Now the talks are alive again. Is Aaron Rodgers staying in Green Bay? If not, where will he be traded to? And give me an idea of what the trade will look like. You also can say he will retire. Mike, I know you had mentioned that before.
Yep.
So, is Aaron Rodgers leaving? And if so, where is he going? You have a few options to go with here.
I know I initially said he would retire, but I think with Brady retiring, he's not now. I think he's going to come back to Green Bay. I don't see him going to Tennessee because of Ryan Tannehill's contract situation. This is his big hit year. With Tom Brady out now, his path gets a little bit easier. You don't have to worry about that team anymore because there's no, that was a big hurdle. And I don't see, the reason I can't see him going to the Broncos or like Tennessee or a team like that is why would he want to go to the AFC and make it harder? I mean, he can't survive in a division with the Lions, the Vikings, and the Bears, who essentially have had no quarterback play for the last 10 years. And then it's like he goes into the playoffs, he can't get past Jimmy G. And he just can't get past, these average quarterbacks. And it's like, I don't know, man. I think he goes back to Green Bay. I think they tag Adams if they can't get it done, and they go another shot because they have Aaron Jones under contract. They have AJ Dillon there. I mean, they just played a bad game against the Niners. That's all it really was. It wasn't like anything other than that. They have a team, and if he's that dude, he should be able to win with them.
Facts.
I'll bottom line. I think Aaron Rodgers is going to Denver. I think the hiring of Nate Hackett, really, for me, that's breadcrumbs for me. And John Elway is aggressive. He will find a quarterback. He hasn't found one since Peyton Manning, but you could to make that splash to get Peyton Manning, he's capable of doing those things. And I think he knows that this team is up and coming. They have Javonte Williams. He's a young star running back. He's really good. He could run. They got Noah Fant. They got Cortland Sutton. They got Jerry Jeudy. They have good, Tim Patrick. They're going to have KJ Hamler coming back next year. I think Aaron Rodgers is actually going to have legit weapons and not just have one. And for me, it's just I don't think being in the AFC is going to rattle him. I think if you ask Aaron Rodgers who's the best player in the AFC, he will say himself. I think he's that confident in his ability to say that.
Yeah, but I mean, actions speak louder than words.
So I don't think he's scared of any or of playing competition. I mean, I know he'll be with Herbert, Mahomes, and I'm missing somebody else. Who am I missing?
Carr.
And Carr.
Josh Allen.
And Carr. Well, I'm talking about for the
West.
The West.
Oh, my bad.
But for me, Denver's they're ready to win now. Their team is really good. I mean, last year, they were what, 8 and 9? They were
something
fringe playoff team. But for me, it's just all they needed was a quarterback. They had Teddy Bridgewater and Drew Lock. You put Aaron Rodgers on there, I can guarantee you that's 4 more wins.
Let me ask you a question now. Do you think that Aaron Rodgers could elevate Hamler, Jeudy, Patrick, and Fant to that next level?
If he's a top 5 quarterback of all time, he should.
I'm just asking because I don't believe he can, but that's just me. Because he couldn't elevate Lazard and MVS, he wouldn't throw to them. So that tells me that he didn't trust them, and that's to me that's on him. You need to be able to trust those guys. You need to build those guys up. I watched Tom Brady throw a fucking touchdown at the end of the half to Scotty Miller. I watched him throw a touchdown to come back and beat what's he want? The Jets maybe to Brashad Perriman.
Mm-hmm.
I've watched Brady do it in those moments. I've watched Peyton Manning do it to guys. I can't think of the tight end from the Broncos. Actually, he went and got paid by Jacksonville and was garbage. What was that guy's name? Tom, you'll remember if you're in there.
Julius Thomas.
Yes. Never heard of him again.
Yeah.
I just to me, Aaron Rodgers doesn't elevate those middle receivers. Now, I think Judy's very good. He's on the up and up. I think Hamler and I think Patrick are good. But is Aaron Rodgers that guy? Because I've said it a million times. He's not somebody I want to be in a foxhole with. He goes down 10 points.
I hear you, Mike.
You would think he's down 3 touchdowns.
But I think that you could argue that Aaron Rodgers made Jordy Nelson and Devontae Adams who they are, too. And you could say that about Randall Cobb, who, I mean, look what happened to him when he's left. He took some big money. So, to be determined. I think that his core beyond Adams was much weaker than in previous years for Green Bay. And I think that's part of the reason why he was so frustrated with the front office. But over the course of history, he's been able to hit more than one guy. It just happens to be that it's kind of a weak room. And I'm not bailing him out, but that is part of the reason why he's been so frustrated. So for me, guys, I think he's definitely getting traded. It's good that they've had positive talks in Green Bay, but I'm with Nick. I think he's going to Denver. I think he's going there, and I think he should go there. I think they'll be ready to win a Super Bowl right now if Aaron Rodgers is there. They will be a Super Bowl contender right now. And then just look at the Broncos on the other side. They did it with Peyton Manning. John always had no success drafting quarterbacks. This guy will do anything to bring in a guy like Aaron Rodgers. He's shown us that. And it's a perfect fit, really. Everything is there that he needs. They got the defense. The offensive line is middle of the pack. It's not great. They can run the football. They got a ton of skill players. So they have the whole recipe. So here's what I think the deal is going to be. I think the Packers trade Aaron Rodgers to the Broncos for the 2022 and 2023 first rounders, plus Jerry Jeudy. Jerry Jeudy will be on the way out, this is something that's come up. This is not just me saying it, by the way. Jerry Jeudy, look, Cortland Sutton got re-signed. Tim Patrick got re-signed. Jerry Jeudy can't stay on the field. Jerry Jeudy can net them a guy like Aaron Rodgers. Jerry Judy's the one who's not going to get paid out of the group. And I think this allows the Packers, this allows the Broncos to sign Davante Adams. That is my prediction. I believe the Packers get Aaron Rodgers and sign Davante Adams. You heard it here first. I think they're getting both of them. I said this a couple of weeks ago, privately, maybe to you guys. I might have said it to you, Mike, actually, on our phone call. I think they're getting both of them.
You did.
I think they're getting both of those guys. That's my prediction right now. And they have the cap space to do it. They're going to be able to do this. So I think it's going to be fucking crazy, obviously. But it's a place where he can go and he can regain his happiness. And he loves Nathaniel Hackett. Loves him. I urge anybody to go look and see the comments he said about this guy. This is arguably his favorite guy in the building. He's now in Denver. That will be his head coach. He loves him. It's a perfect fit for all sides. The Packers, I then think, will turn to Jordan Love. Guys, that's the next part of the question. Do you think the Packers, what do you think they do if Rodgers leaves, and what do you think they should do if Rodgers leaves?
I think they roll with Jordan Love.
Absolutely. You have to.
Yeah, you traded up for him when you could have got somebody to help Rodgers. And best of luck, man.
Yeah, nah.
I don't even have anything else to say.
No, you got to roll with him. I mean, he was a first-round pick. You drafted him. I mean, you pissed Aaron Rodgers off, in spite of that. So, for me, you got to roll with Jordan Love and see what you got in him. And you play. If he stinks, then you go get a quarterback.
He stinks.
Well,
so you think they should give him an opportunity too, or do you think they should go somewhere else?
Well, here's the thing. I mean, if he's at quarterback and he doesn't have Davante Adams, how can you actually assess him?
Who?
Jordan Love. How can you?
Well, they'll get Jerry Jeudy in my deal.
I mean, Jerry Jeudy compared to Davante Adams. I mean, what are we talking about? I mean, that's not fair for him.
I mean,
no, it's not.
It's
not really, but I'm just saying.
So for me, it's just like you can't really evaluate him after 1 year of starting them.
That's where I go. That's my issue, though. He should be able to elevate them. If he's your first round pick, I mean, not for nothing, Joe Burrow elevated his whole fucking squad.
Yeah, but he also has 3 good wide receivers on his team. I'm talking about like who's he going to have?
No, look, it's fair. It's fair. I got what you're saying.
I mean, for me, like you can't actually like fairly assess him. If you're going to have trash ass wide receivers with your young quarterback, he's not going to be successful. They're gonna bounce on him quick. They're gonna bail him in quick. They're gonna blame him.
I'm with you.
I guarantee you, they're not gonna enter next season with this wide receiving core. They're gonna add somebody, even if Adams is not the guy. I think they'll obviously go out and get somebody. In my scenario, they get Jeudy. I think they'd still go out and get another guy on top of that.
Yeah,
and then
well,
they get
they're in salary
back.
cap. Yeah, but they're in salary cap hell.
They're like 45 million.
They are.
Over.
That's what I'm saying.
They could draft somebody though too. That's my point. So you shed Rodgers and Adams. That's going to shed a lot of cap there. But
there's no way.
I'm just telling you right now. I think they at least draft somebody else. So I think that I actually do think they are going to give Jordan Love a chance, because that is one way they can rebuild the roster cap wise. So I think that's what they'll do. They got to give him a chance and see if he lived up to the value of where they drafted him. They have to do it. They have to know at some point. But should they do it is a whole different question. I don't think they should, because, again, this is a team that, they're going to undergo some change, but they have a contending roster regardless. They're going to get guys back that were not healthy all year, okay? So even after making some adjustments, I think they can make a run. So I would do this if I'm the Packers. And this is realistic for me. And obviously it takes a lot of cap work on both sides. But hear me out, okay? the Packers could give up a 3rd-round pick and a conditional 6th-rounder next year to get, and this is an interdivision trade, Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins, who would be reunited with his QB coach, Matt LaFleur, okay? They could restructure his deal. The Vikings are going to eat some of that, obviously. That's the only reason why this would happen, because there's nobody that's going to be saying, hey, Vikings, give me Kirk Cousins in his contract. So they're going to have to eat some money, and the Packers will restructure him, and they can decide, hey, if he's not good after this year, we just let him walk. We gave up a compensatory pick. No big deal. You let him walk. If not, you could re-sign him another 2-3 years.
I hope
and
that
he'll
doesn't
be your
happen.
bridge guy for Jordan Love. I think it's a good fit, though, for both sides, even though it's interdivision. I know it's fucking crazy, but it actually makes sense.
I would feel so bad for Kirk Cousins if that happens. Because, like, I don't have no ill will towards him. Like, I don't think he's that guy. But, man, God forbid.
Yeah.
don't send him to that thing. I mean, not for nothing, but you're going to find out, if Aaron Rodgers does leave, you're going to find out a lot about Matt LaFleur, too. Because everybody talks about how trash Mike McCarthy is. He at least won a Super Bowl with Rodgers.
Yeah.
Had multiple winning seasons. He just had a winning season in Dallas. So, I mean, Mike McCarthy has at least proven that he's competent. When Matt LaFleur was the offensive coordinator on the Jaguars, they were garbage. That offense was horrible. So you're about to find out a lot about Matt LaFleur, too, if Rodgers is gone.
These are facts, and this is why I could see him going out and getting his guy, and hopefully Jordan Love is ready at the end of this tenure. And it's something that won't cost them major draft capital. That's the only way it will work.
The NFC is just not working out for Rodgers. He's 1-4 in NFC Championship games. He needs to switch conferences. he needs to switch.
You know, Nick, the crazy part about all this is if he stays in the NFC, it's seemingly wide open. And without Tom Brady there, I mean, you never know. So maybe he considers that. Maybe that's why he did talk to the Packers at length about possibly returning. But I still think he's on the way out. So, guys, we got to move on, okay? We're doing pretty well. Let's stay with it. Phil, Jimmy Garoppolo, last quarterback of the night. So we're back at Jimmy G again. All right, we were just talking about this, whether or not they should trade him. And at this point...
Everything all right over there?
Oh,
I hit 43 instead of 3. My bad.
so it's okay. It's okay. So we were talking about Jimmy G, like whether or not he should move. At this point now, it looks like he knows he's moving. There's been acknowledgement that it looks like he is going to be moved. This is pretty much from every reporter that you can name. It looks like Jimmy G's on the move, unless they don't get what they want in a trade. So it looks like he's on the move. So we're going to keep this one shorter, guys. Let's assume that Jimmy G's getting traded. Where will he get traded? And where should he get traded? And I know that you guys already mentioned a couple, so it's okay if you repeat your answer. You don't have to describe it again. So go ahead.
Where will he get traded and where he should get traded? He's going to the Washington Commanders.
You son of a gun.
Commanders.
That was my pick.
Yeah, he is. Yo, they need a quarterback. They have like 40-something million in cap space. They got Terry McLaurin. They got Antonio Gibson. If they can patch up that defense, and if that defense can play like it did 2 years ago, like you might have something there with Jimmy G. But like I think he'll keep them competitive. And I think, you know, I mean, here's the thing. I mean, like a couple years ago, they were probably maybe a quarterback away. Possibly you could have argued that. They played the Bucs hard as hell in the playoffs. That was the hardest game throughout the Super Bowl run, pretty much. But overall, like, yeah, I think that's a good fit for him. I really do. I think him and Ron Rivera would click.
I like it. The only reason I don't think so is because I think they're going to try and draft Malik Willis from Liberty.
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah, but that's what I do think is
Maybe.
going to happen with them. I don't think they're going to trade for somebody. Because I think
What
he could
should they-
do. I think
Where should he go then, Mike?
I think he should go to Pittsburgh. I'm still staying by that. I think he should go to Pittsburgh.
Okay. Yeah, no, I mean, guys, Nick, I am in full agreement with you, actually, and here's the reason, okay? Because I had said this to Mike. I actually thought Texans were the best, like, they're going to go for him. They're going to go all out. It's a New England front office, basically. The Texans would love to have Jimmy G and rebuild around him because he's still young. So here's the thing, though. Here's why he won't go there, and here's why he's going to Washington. They are desperate. They are absolutely desperate. And when Dan Snyder gets desperate, he does some fucking crazy shit. All right? I know it's a different front office, but he's going to get what he wants here. I think that Washington's going to outbid teams like the Texans, maybe even the Raiders, after moving on from Carr, which is possible, okay? I think that the Commanders... I can't believe we're saying this now.
Yeah,
the Washington Commanders...
So corny,
He's going to the XFL?
It's corny as hell.
Or the Arena League?
You see their jerseys?
It's better than fucking football team,
They're
though.
fucking
Let's be
poop.
honest.
Look at that.
They look like the Yellow Jackets.
They are.
I think that they want to be named the Generals, but that was already trademarked. So, anyway, that's a whole different discussion. Finally, they're not the fucking football team, the most generic fucking name ever, and it was pathetic. All right. So, Jimmy G's going to the Commanders, and Washington is going to give them
Jersey flight.
a 2023, so this is a next year, conditional second-round pick, where if it hits certain incentives, it can turn into a 1, just like the Carson Wentz contract, the Carson Wentz trade. Okay, there's your basis. They pick up the salary, and then also the Commanders would give up a 6th-round pick as well. So a conditional second from next year and a 6th-rounder from this year. And also, I think the 49ers generally, like, they genuinely really want to send Jimmy G somewhere where he can be competitive, and he's stated that already. That's his desire, to be on a team that could compete. I think that they would be a competitive team on the fringe of the playoffs with Jimmy G. That doesn't mean I think it's the best fit. That's where I think he's going. Okay? So, Nick, I agree with you. And you say he should go there too, right, Nick?
Yeah, I think he should. I mean, he'll start.
The Commanders.
What? Yeah, I know. The name is trash. Yeah, like, I hate it. Like, it is corny. The Washington Commanders. Like, yeah, like imagine that being your favorite football team.
Yeah, you going to the Commanders game Sunday?
Yeah, this is corny.
I would just be like, yeah, you going to the game Sunday? I'll never say that name.
Take command.
Yeah.
All their cities' team names are kind of pathetic. So it goes right along with it. You got the Commanders, the Capitals, the Wizards. I mean, you know, that's weak shit.
Yeah, facts.
But anyway, I'm gonna give you guys something here. This one's gonna be crazy. Where do I think he should go? And you're gonna love this. I know you guys. I know you're gonna love this idea. It's gonna take some maneuvering, but this is where he should go to be the most successful for Jimmy G. This is where he should go. Okay, the 49ers should trade Jimmy G plus a 7th rounder this year to the Tennessee Titans for a conditional 2nd rounder of next year plus a 6th. So it's the same deal I just said, but they have to give up a 7 as well.
I'll
He
give up
goes
a
to the
7.
Titans.
Hey.
And listen to this. Here's why I think it's possible. Listen to this. This is crazy, okay? John Robinson, the Titans GM, before leaving the Patriots, he was with the Patriots for 12 years on the staff, okay? He scouted Jimmy G right before he left for his next job, okay? So John Robinson scouted Jimmy G. Vrabel is of the Patriots ilk. I think he gets the endorsement. I think that would be a great fit for Jimmy, too. You get that run game. It's a pretty good offensive line. I think the defense is going to be a lot better this year. And then he's got A.J. Brown and Julio.
I would love that for him. If they can make it work.
I think it's a perfect fit because you're minimizing pretty much all the shit that he's that will make him unsuccessful.
So
he gets that run game is perfect, and he gets to throw to the middle of the field like Ryan Tannehill does. He makes a living out of it, and he gets to run the play action. It's perfect for Jimmy G, and he's probably a slight upgrade in their eyes. You know?
Yeah. So like that's my thing. Like, if you're Tennessee, like why do that? Like what do you if you're not upgrading at that position, then you might as well just stick with Tannehill. Unless you can't find somebody
Nick,
who's
the Patriot connection,
better.
Brother.
Yeah, I know, but you gotta if you want to make it to the bowl, like if you know quarterback is your weak point, and you want to make it to the bowl and you have every single piece in place. I mean, hell, you were the 1 seed. If you have every single piece in place and you get a bigger quarterback, like I'm talking about a more dominant quarterback than Ryan Tannehill, then I'm going for that. Because why would I just trade pretty much the same thing that I'm getting in return? Like, to me, it doesn't make any sense.
I agree with you. But that's the thing is, I'm saying the 49ers should do that. The Titans should not, in my opinion. But that is the best spot for Jimmy G. That's the best favor they could do for him. That's what the 49ers should do. That's what Jimmy G should do.
I got you.
I don't think the Titans should do that. I don't think it's an upgrade. It's pretty much a lateral move.
Yeah.
But I think the Titans would see that as an upgrade, and he's a young guy that they could build around long term. So that would be the only reason why I'm saying they probably think higher of him than you and I do. And I don't think much of him at all. I think that he could be a competitive quarterback, but I don't think – I mean, I wouldn't even put him top half. I'd probably say bottom 10, but you can still compete with him.
Who's bottom 10?
So Jimmy G is probably bottom 10 at the higher end of it.
Man, I have to look at that list,
saying,
bro. I don't know, man. Look, here's my thing. A guy that went to the NFC Championship game – I'm sorry. Yeah, he went to the NFC Championship game this year and lost – the Super Bowl 2 years ago by 1 throw to the Chiefs. To put him in the bottom 10, nah, I don't know if I can rock with that.
Hey, well, that's a discussion for another day. I'm just saying to you, I was agreeing the Titans should not do that.
I gotta take a look at the starting quarterbacks in the NFL, and I'll come back to you.
We'll do that.
We
Nick,
should.
We're gonna have a long off season, and we can do that. I unfortunately have to move us on because there's no way we're gonna fit this segment in if we don't move right now. Guys, this is a historical one here, okay? Phil, hit the music for me real quick, all right?
It's a really low song. I don't like this one. Fuck that one. Wait.
There we go. Now I
can
can
a little better.
get that classic shit.
It's a quiet ass song.
Love it. Guys, last topic of the night. Let's try to wrap this up in 10 minutes, okay? Last topic of the night. In honor of Tom Brady retiring, we're going to do the NFL's Mount Rushmore of players, okay? Let me describe this for the audience. All right? The interpretations here, the possible interpretations. So on Mount Rushmore, you have 4 faces, all right? If you had to sum up the history of the NFL, which 4 all-time players, this is players only, which 4 would be impossible for you to leave out? Which 4 have had the greatest legacy? Which 4 are the greatest ever? Which 4 had the greatest impact on the game? It can be a combination of all those things, but those are the possible interpretations we're looking for here. So I'm going to pass it off to the guys, and I'm going to let them describe who's on their list and why. And feel free to give us plenty of feedback in the comments, all right? Completely up to you guys how you approach it. It's Mount Rushmore. It's players only. Who belongs on Mount Rushmore? All generations of players. Begin.
So, number one, I'm saying I'm not going too far back because I don't want to go back and do players that I didn't really get to see I can only look at just stats to go off of them. So I'm trying to do this in my day and age, even though I'm pushing the boundaries a little bit with my age. So number one, I have Tom Brady, obviously 7 Super Bowls, 10 appearances, 5 Super Bowl MVPs. Greatest athlete in the history of sports, and it's really not close. Model of success and set a standard of winning that every franchise should model themselves after. Number 2, I have Peyton Manning. 2 Super Bowls, 4 appearances. Transformed the QB position to pre-snap reads, was a literal offensive coordinator on the field. When he was in Indianapolis for 13 seasons, in 9 of them, they finished top 5 in yards and points per game. Peyton Manning is my love of GOAT, even though Tom Brady really is the GOAT. Third, I put Jerry Rice, 22,000 yards receiving. No other wide receiver even has 20. 208 touchdowns, 274 consecutive games with at least 1 catch. He owns 36 NFL records and retired 16 years ago. That's crazy. He has some Wayne Gretzky type records and Wilt Chamberlain records that just can't be touched or broken. And then number 4, I tried to go a little bit more diverse here. I went with Deion Sanders, one of the most versatile players the league has ever seen. Scored touchdowns on punts, kick returns, offense, and defense. He was brash and unapologetically himself, very similar to Allen Iverson. Dressed how he wanted, talked how he wanted, didn't really care what anybody had to say. And I feel like he was very influential in the way that the league was played in the early 2000s.
Wow. Well, we'll react to your list shortly, okay? Nick, I want you to read your list. I'll read mine, and then we'll react to each other's lists. And I'm seeing some comments already. This is great feedback. Let's keep it going. Go ahead, Nick. Who's on your Mount Rushmore of NFL players?
So I gave a quarterback, a running back, a wide receiver, and a defensive player. So I'll start with the defense. I'm going with Lawrence Taylor. This guy was phenomenal. He was the most dominant player of all time on the defensive side of the ball. When you got Bill Belichick that talks about him the way he does, like, that's not a mistake. You know what I mean? So for me, I mean, the guy had 132 and a half sacks in his career. He had the record for 20 and a half sacks, and he held it for a long-ass time. I mean, to get 20 and a half sacks in a season, that's fucking crazy. And he won. He was he won to 8 All-Pros, 10-time Pro Bowler. He won a Defensive Player of the Year 4 times, and he won 2 Super Bowls. He was also one of the few defenders that actually won an NFL MVP award. The guy was outstanding, and he's probably the best player of all time in defense. So that's my guy. The wide receiver, I'll go with Jerry Rice. For me, it goes without saying. He holds pretty much every single wide receiver statistic in the NFL history. I think he's got 4 rings, something like that. It's incredible. He was just so dominant
3
in all aspects of the game. His work ethic, and according to a lot of reports and stories about his upbringing and stuff like that. So for me, that's one of the guys. And I'm going to go Barry Sanders as my running back.
Love it.
The guy had 15,269 rushing yards with probably the worst offensive line ever.
In 10 seasons.
Yeah, just his elusiveness is just ridiculous. He's number 4 all time in rushing, and he retired at age 30. He retired early. I think he left the league with 1,500 rushing yards. He kind of went out on top like Brady did, pretty much. So I mean, he had 2,053 yards one season, the season before he retired. So this guy was dominant as all hell. I mean, that goes without saying. And then for me, number 4 is, come on, I don't even got to explain this. 7-time Super Bowl champ, 5-time NFL Super Bowl MVP, 3 MVPs, might be 4 this year. So. Yeah, I mean, the guy had an incredible career. It's just not even, I don't even have to go in depth. So, it's 12. The GOAT.
I love both of your lists. So I'll read you mine, okay? And I'll keep this nice and short. We got Tom Brady. It's impossible to leave him off, okay? Absolute legend. He redefined winning. He redefined leadership. He redefined being clutch. He's got the longevity. He just literally redefined the word success. You would be a fool to leave him off that list, okay? So that goes without saying. You got TB12. I have Lawrence Taylor as well, and I think it kind of also, I'm not going to reread the stats, but he's the best defensive player ever, period. He could literally do everything, okay? He was a sack artist. Yeah. Pause. Okay? He was a fucking elite tackler. He could knock your teeth out. This guy was a hitter, okay? He had elite speed, agility, everything. He was all over the field. He could pass rush. He could drop into coverage. I mean, he literally could just do everything. So that goes without saying for me. It's got to be LT. I have Jerry Rice as well, and I'll tell you why he made it. Not because, you guys already read the stats, but for me, picking Jerry Rice over Barry Sanders, because he's not on my list. I love Barry Sanders. He might be a top 5 on my all-time players I love. Okay? But Jerry Rice simply just has the longevity, and you can't tell the history of the game without Jerry Rice. He is literally a 36 record holder. This guy played into his 40s. I mean, he's literally the only guy to have over 20 receiving yards over the age of 40. This guy's insane. So you have to include Jerry Rice. Barry Sanders, though, talent-wise, I would put him right up there. He just missed the cut on my list. So, Nick, I love you putting him there. Mm-hmm. Fourth, though, and this one, I mean, I'll just say it. Reggie White, the Minister of Defense.
Oh, shit.
You would be remiss to leave Reggie White out. He is the most dominant defensive lineman ever, and here's how he changed the game. He was the best pass rusher ever, period. He was a game wrecker. He actually, so I'll read you his stats and all, right? Best pass rusher, could do it all, game wrecker, winner, double-digit sacks 13 times. In one season, guys, so you thought 20.5 by LT was nuts, Nick? Reggie White, in a shortened 12-game season, had 21 sacks, 4 forced fumbles, and a TD, okay? 8-time first-team All-Pro, 2 Defensive Player of the Year, Hall of Famer, a Super Bowl ring, second in sacks behind Bruce Smith with 4 less seasons played. He only had 2 less than Bruce Smith. This guy redefined everything about pass rush, everything. He just redefined pressure. He was literally a game wrecker, period. So, and the other thing about Reggie White that changed the game was free agency. Look at how the NFL is now. Players did not move from team to team very often for the longest time. Reggie White redefined free agency. You never see players like Reggie White hit free agency, and he did, going to the Packers and had a Hall of Fame career there too. So that was when free agency and all this player movement really began. It began with Reggie White, and it was the first of its kind. You know, if there was social media back in the day when this happened, that might go down as the craziest fucking thing that ever happened in sports history. That's how significant it was. And he definitely should have had more rings. I'll say that too. But that's why I have Reggie White there.
Love it, Mike. Love it.
Yeah, I like it.
Great list.
How do you fucking feel about that? Let's get some reactions. I'm seeing some great feedback in the comments. Guys, let's get some reactions, then we'll wrap this show up.
Nah, I love your Reggie White pick. My dad, he would tell me all about him, growing up, and my uncles as well, Steven, Dave.
It was on Steve's list. He was saying it. He was saying it in the comments.
Yeah, they used to always tell me about him. That he pushed like 2 linemen out of the way. He would throw guys like rag dolls. He bounced Aikman off the turf. All that other stuff. I mean, like, that's just cool stories, you know.
David said Reggie White was the first major free agent in NFL history.
Facts. He was the first major free agent in sports history, really. He redefined the whole game. Look at it now. We crave this shit. This is all we talk about. We're talking about all these QB trades and QB free agency movement all
That's the
show.
best.
Yeah. This wouldn't happen if that move didn't pave the way for all sports. It changed everything.
Agreed, yeah.
We all had TB12 and we all had Jerry Rice.
Yeah, I mean, like, they're like the undisputed GOATs at their respective positions.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I mean, I've always argued, or I could argue, that Randy Moss could be better.
It's funny. I was just saying.
Because I love Randy
Me and
Moss.
Tom were just
That's
talking
my
about
favorite
that the
wide
other night.
receiver
Yeah.
of all time. Like, he changed the game. Like, straight up. Like, he changed the NFL in terms of passing, like, as far as like deep routes. Like, the guy was unstoppable in all aspects of the game. I mean, the guy had 23 touchdowns in one season with Brady.
I was a TO guy.
Hey, well, I think you want to know what
Always,
else it is,
man. I love
Nick?
TO.
It's easy for you guys to say T.O. Moss. I encourage everybody who watches this show to go watch some Jerry Rice film. Okay?
I did today.
Nobody gets open like Jerry Rice. This guy changed the NFL in terms of catching the football. So, obviously, like you could argue who transcended the game into a passing game. Mike, it killed me to leave Peyton Manning off my list. But Peyton Manning probably is the guy who elevated this game, made everyone want to have quarterbacks who put up stats like that. I mean, there were guys in the past history like Dan Marino, Johnny Unitas, really, with the forward pass. These are the guys that made the league into a passing league, but Peyton is the reason why we have 4,000, 5,000 yard passing QBs now. Peyton's the reason. So he just missed my list too, but I had to put the other guys on there just out of significance. It was really close, but it's tough when you narrow it down to 4.
I'm curious.
So,
I'm curious. Would you if Randy Moss had a quarterback his whole career, where would you rank him? Like, where do you think he would have surpassed Jerry Rice?
It's tough because he
had the talent to do so, but he
did have
also
a little bit of a bad attitude.
he was his own problem for a few years too. You know,
he got in his own way like T.O. He
Yeah.
just got in his own way with dumb shit.
Yeah.
Mooning fucking crowds and shit. Like, I love that.
I love that.
I do. I love it because that's like, because I'm
Me
I'm
too.
an asshole too. But I'm like, it's hard when you're trying to do it at that level because that's the stuff they pick apart.
Wasn't
But,
he
like,
fighting dogs too?
That was Michael Vick.
Ah,
Yeah.
shit, I get them mixed up.
But
Yeah. We'll leave that out of the discussion.
Yeah, no,
But
I
he
mean,
changed
like,
the game too. He
Yeah.
changed the
So
game. He
it was
made,
funny. I was talking to Palante earlier about this because I really wanted to put Michael Vick because he was a pioneer of the running quarterback. He's the reason why RG3s, McNabbs, Russell Wilson, and Kyler Murray's and all those players were able to come into the league and do that. He was the first one to do that when the Falcons took him in 2001. But, I mean, you can tell the history of the sport without him. So that's why I chose to leave him off.
Mhm.
But
Yeah, I was surprised when you left him off because you could easily justify
I mean, Randall
his
Cunningham
impact
was
on
one
the
of them.
game.
Randall
really what it comes
everybody
down
says
to,
he
guys-
was ahead of his time, Randall Cunningham. That's my brother's favorite quarterback. But I was
Exactly.
a baby, so it's like, and he had Dick Vermeil, who was a defensive guy.
But that's the thing, guys.
Or
It's
Buddy
tough to
Ryan,
narrow
my
this
bad.
list down to 4. It really is because there's so many players that have had an outstanding impact on the game. I just think that the ones that the ones I selected had a greater imprint on the game than the others. And you could justify a bunch of players swapping names on this list. Really. I thought it was a great exercise. I thought it would be good
Yeah.
for everybody and the audience.
I think it was
I mean,
good. I think it was good. So like we only did players, but if we did the NFL as a whole game, like as the entire history, coaches,
I would like to do
GMs,
all sports.
I got some good news.
all that shit.
I got some
You know
good
what I
news
mean?
for you,
Like,
Nick.
That'd be dope.
Nick,
Yeah.
polls, time out. I got some good news for you, and this is for the audience too. So this is our players version, okay? Next, and this is, you're probably going to see this, wink, wink, on Monday's show. We got the coaches, contributors, everyone else, okay? In honor of John Madden,
That's gonna be fucking.
who passed away recently, we will be doing a Mount Rushmore of coaches and contributors in the NFL. And then, Nick, yeah, you literally could take it a step further and do the whole NFL, but I think there's just so many players and then so many coaches, so many GMs, like all that shit. It's so hard to do an overall NFL one, but we certainly could possibly entertain it.
Yeah.
So maybe we'll discuss that, but I can guarantee you guys, I can guarantee the audience we're going to have one in honor of John Madden on Monday. What better way to honor the guy? Because he's going to be in it. If he's not in your Mount Rushmore, you got fucking problems. So, John Madden, Mount Rushmore on Monday. So, other than that, guys, audience, even after this show, we encourage you to continue to comment on who is on your NFL players Mount Rushmore, and also talk about the 4 QBs from our show today. We had Tom Brady, we had Ben Roethlisberger, we had Jimmy G, we had Aaron Rodgers. So, like, everything regarding those 4 teams and the QBs, the QB discussion we had earlier, we still encourage you to comment and let us know what you think. Let's get some great discussion going because, unfortunately, we don't have enough time to hash it out any longer. So, guys, are we good? Everybody good?
Yes, sir. Take it away,
Yeah,
Nicky.
man. I'm just depressed. There's no football. I mean, come on. The Pro Bowl's kind of whack. I mean, who's watching that shit? Anybody
Yeah, fuck
watching
the
this?
Pro Bowl.
You watching that shit? I mean,
Nah.
I saw Russell Wilson at the Pro Bowl. I saw Kirk Cousins at the Pro Bowl. Like,
It's all backup. Like, not
Yeah.
backups, but it's like the,
Like,
the
Thanks
real
for your
starters don't even want to play.
participation trophy.
well, Kirk Cousins he might deserve it this year.
Well,
Arguably.
thank you for the participation trophy. That's what it is now.
Yeah.
All I care about is the All-Pro list. I love, though, that they brought back the skills challenge. That is fucking
Yes.
awesome. I will watch the skills challenge. I grew up on that shit.
I didn't know they brought.
It's a
So
heat
happy
wave.
they brought it back.
It's a heat wave. I
Shit.
love that shit. That was like my favorite. Like when Chad Johnson was in the league.
Yeah.
Like they had so much fun doing that shit. Like it was fire. Like I'm happy they went back to it.
That's better than the Pro Bowl
Yeah, it
quality
is.
wise. It's not even close.
No, you're
so.
No cap.
That's the NBA too.
With that being said, guys, I'm gonna wrap this shit up. Let's get out of here. We did pretty well. All right, we covered a lot of stuff on tonight's show. Remember to comment, guys. Remember to share everything. All right. So that being said, I'm gonna wrap this up. And I'm gonna send it off to Nick. All right. This episode of P&I was brought to you by PrizePicks, your home for daily fantasy sports. New users who sign up for PrizePicks today using the promo code ICONIC will receive 100% instant deposit, match up to $100. That's promo code ICONIC. PrizePicks, daily fantasy made easy. Also, I hope that you watched us on propshq.com tonight. That's the Props Network. Go check us out there. Subscribe to our show. Stay in tune with everything going on with us. It's all right there on the Props Network on propshq.com. Next show, Monday, 8 p.m. I already gave you a little preview of what's going to be in there. All right? It's going to be a great show.
Wink, wink.
Unfortunately, no one gives a shit about the Pro Bowl. We're probably not going to talk about it. I'll just throw that out there for you. But we have plenty for you next week. And then obviously we're going to have a Super Bowl preview. So stay tuned. And I mean, that's it, guys. Thank you very much. Nick, it's all you now.
Thank you guys for hanging out with us. We appreciate all the love, support, and the comments. If you haven't done so already, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell on YouTube. We are also available on propshq.com, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Megaphone, iHeart, and Stitcher, and all that other shit. Also, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok, and we'll see you guys Monday night at P&I.